Morning. The people them will work out of Norman Manley International Airport. This is a new week. Same foolishness when I go on with last week, don't bother come back with it this week again. Because me don't know what make Friday and Saturday uno out there 2 days and a standstill. Because uno and the people them we are come in to come help the Melissa victims them and people we are come back at them yard to them family uno out there. I search the people them luggage and I take out when I feel like so if you take out of the people them luggage. That's uno and them in a one piece of ruckus out there.
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz News and Entertainment with a Buzz. The video that you saw at the start of this is of a young lady that was a victim at the Norman Manley International Airport, in which somebody, one of the workers, stole some stuff out of her luggage. So therefore, she was sending out a warning, not only to these employees, these crooks, these hyenas, these two-foot posts, but also warning other Jamaicans about the practices, meaning thieving practices. Fast forward less than a day ago or so, we saw that legendary dancehall reggae artist Buju Banton. You've seen the video circulating all over social media after Melissa, the aftermath of Melissa. He was all over the place internationally, seeking relief for persons that are most in need, meaning the victims of Hurricane Melissa. Well, people, it seems as if Buju Banton and his foundation is also a victim of the airport thieves and hyena. I am sure that you've seen the videos circulating all over social media, so therefore I am just going to give you the edited version of what Buju Banton had to say and the response when he was almost brought into tears. Take a listen, take a look.
The cargo, right? And when the cargo come out and we start looking at the cargo, Starlink missing, stove missing, all kind of ras bomber, ras clotting, blood clot missing, and the barrel them half empty. See, nothing never happened to Kingston. There's no reason for nobody at Kingston for your thief, nothing from the people of Jamaica. You understand me? But the sound stay on have a dirty, crowbait, reprobate, blood clot mentality, to break my fucking heart. You understand me? I should have come down and come go to some scandal back because of that on the blood clot deserve. You know? You see it? Right? We don't have no clout and we know that the people in the dire straits. So we have a thief from poor people and thief from people who go through such a hard time. Who are broken at the barrel. Broken at the barrel, and so we ask a question. Where is the oversight? Where are the security measures? Because you can't go through the airport and fart. So how somebody leave the airport with so much things, all these things where these packages come tampered with. Reprobate one company this come talk, but you don't know some man stepping on the neck. You should have glad some day in Babylon too. I want to get me so me rank and dirty or to where I'm mad. Jano, upset man. Pull a barrel, I want to pull a barrel half empty. Pull the next one, every half stove. The man, I want to come out of the airport with them something there. Somebody answer that and tell me. I want to come out so we have no camera. People are going to work and work at secure location. People check them bag, look at them car trunk, look behind them seat, them have all thing with them walk and look under your bumper clock, batty hole. But when I thief so much things and I get away with it. I want to hurt my feelings, man. I'm not keep silent now. I don't want nobody come tell me about me for blood clot, keep silent. Where were you when we never run with me on my bread, you know? You think I beggins? You think I beggins? Sure. I love you know. But I don't love them behavior, yeah.
Now, people, we should not be surprised. This has been going on for years, on top of years, decades, on top of decades. But with the changing of the new generation, it has gotten significantly bossera. And these people, where they used to thief sporadically, they are now thieving everything that is inside. They are thieving from everybody. However, when them thief, and I am not encouraging any sorts of thieving regularly. However, when we hit a crisis such as Melissa is, and we see that persons are out here, desperate persons are in need, and persons, celebrities such as Buju Banton is making effort, putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, you would have thought that there would have been some sorts of exception to the rule. No, people, it only gets worse, like I've always said. A leopard never changes its spots. If anything, it is only going to get spottier. Thiefer, it is only going to get worser. Now, people, you have to ask yourself if you've ever flown, fly through the airport, come through the airport, Norman, Manley, or Sangsters, whichever one of them. The strictness that you have to go through just to clear your own luggage. That is not the bad part, traveling on the plane, going back and forth to America, whichever country, whichever destination, and returning. The stringent measures that you have to go through for them search your own stuff. What is even worse, have you ever tried to clear anything at the wharf? Have you ever tried to clear anything through FedEx, one of those places, one of those couriers or whatever, DHL or whomever, UPS, and see what you have to go through? The chain that you have to go through, you have to go one place also, fill out a whole bunch of tedious paperwork. Somebody then have to inspect it. You then have to go to the cashier. You then have to go through a tedious inspection. And then when you get your stuff, you have to be checked by the security before you leave. So therefore, they put all of these into play to make sure that employees don't steal, and even worse, employees and customers don't collaborate or conspire to thief. So I say this to say that this chain of command, the way in which they do conduct business, is to make sure that employees don't thief, employees don't conspire with persons coming in and thief and get away, and the government does not get what it is, meaning the taxes that are there to make sure that the country is run efficiently. So I say this to say that even the employees, when you look at every check-in point, there's a security gate. As an employee, you are checked when you are going in, and even worse, you are checked when you are going out. If a vehicle goes into that premises, meaning the wharf, meaning wherever the pickup area is, that vehicle is checked. And when you're coming out, the contents, whatever you went to pick up, that is also checked and verified. The process of security within the building and then leaving the building is very stringent. Some just say you can't thief a pin, and worse, you can't thief an anchor. But you heard what Buju Banton said. Them thief stove, them thief satellite dish, whatever them call it. Them thief just about everything, big items that have to put in a truck or some sorts of van. So we have to ask ourselves the question, and the question is simple. It is a rhetorical question. How is it that somebody leave with fridges, leave with big items, pass through security, go through the tedious? Now, people, I don't know if the security measures were lapsed based on the fact that there are so much things coming in and out, so therefore the hustle and the bustle is even much, much more. But the facts are these: security is still there. You have to check. You have to itemize everything that you're leaving with. But here is a problem, and the problem is a Jamaica problem, meaning that from the head of the stream to the bottom of the stream is filled with thieves. And I know that whenever I speak, you always hear some jackass in my comment section. You always are trying to make Jamaica look bad. Well, I talk about news that implies to Jamaica. So therefore, if bad things are going on, what you want me to make up story? However, that is a story for a next day. So I just say, from the head of the stream, meaning supervisor, meaning manager, meaning department heads, meaning security, from the top to the bottom, everybody a thief, everybody is hustling. That whole wharf, that whole pickup customs in a Jamaica is made with a lot of thieves. These are the persons that are making the most money of any sort of company in a Jamaica. These are the persons that are driving the most expensive cars. If you check a lot of customs officers, they're driving the same sorts of vehicles such as the Popcorn, the Vibes Cartel. They are living and buying the biggest houses and mansions. How do you think a lot of these developments that you see, who you think is buying them? You think it is the average person with a 9 to 5. And when we look at the fact that, when we look at the pay scale of customs, I am not saying that they are not paid decently. However, their salary does not match their lifestyle. So therefore, that tells you something. It's a whole bunch of thieving, and it has been going on for years, on top of years. It has been going on for a decade, and nobody is going to change. As a matter of fact, when you look on people that look at job in Jamaica, people don't want any sort of job unless it is a hustle. If somebody is going into the police force, them want to go in a narcotics or them want to go in a traffic police. Why you think that is? It is all about a hustle. So my point is that the average person that is looking a job in Jamaica don't take that job because it is a part of their personality. They want to help the people. They want to help them, with the exception of probably nurses and doctors. Well, not all of the nurses, because they know the situation as it pertains to a lot of these nurses, a lot of these doctors. They have zero patience for patient. Them just a do a job. Them just a do a hustle. They are just going through the motions. Now, people, the sad thing is that whenever stuff like this happens, meaning Buju Banton getting robbed, which Buju Banton is just like the average civilian getting robbed. So even though he is a celebrity, it is not going to be taken. It is not going to be taken serious. And yes, we might hear some 9-day talk because we're going to hear one of the relevant authority because of PR are doing some sorts of damage control, saying that they are doing some sorts of intensive investigation. However, at the end of the day, like I said, a 9-day attack, nobody is not going to get any sorts of time, not even an hour in a prison, not even 9 hours in a prison. They are going to tell you that there's an investigation and then it is going to sweep under the carpet because it is from top to bottom, from the top man to the man that is working at security. Everybody is thieving. So the moral of the story is that this problem at the wharf is widespread. This problem is going from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom. This problem is that it is infiltrated with thieves. And unless you clear everybody, meaning just get rid of everybody and start total over, a total revamp, the problem is still going to exist because as soon as one is gone, then bring in a worse thief than the thief that was there before. That is the cold hard facts, point blank and period. Now the next thing that is popping in the news is based on the videos that I just showed you, edited version of some videos that have been making their rounds over social media. Boy, people, Jamaica really active. Usually we have a buzzing topic per day. However, yesterday, with the Buju Banton incident at the airport and this incident at Flatbridge, Rio Corby in the vicinity there, where it is confirmed that a man, maybe in his 70s, based on information that I am getting, his name is Psyche. He's a deportee. He operates like some sorts of motel business in the Linstead area. Allegations or accusations are that he must touch up some 14 or 13-year-old minor. She was at his premises for a couple of days, I guess, during the hurricane or whatever. Don't really know the circumstance or details. We just know say he was charged for some inappropriate action with some sorts of minor. Sad situation. Now, people, when we look at that video and I try to analyze what could have gone wrong, why is it that something like this happened after we've heard a whole bunch of criminals are broke out of jail or pretty much get out of jail free card? It looked like somebody give them some sorts of extra key, them go cut some key for the prison them. The way that they've been escaping or leaving these prisons, walking out, whatever the circumstances are. When you look at this man now, 70-year-old man, and we look at the way that he was transported in these government jeep, and we see say, the security measures as it pertains to transporting prisoners, whether they are young or old, is woefully lacking. And this is a perfect example. Truth and the fact is that you have to ask how this happened. I guess the police feeling that this man, 70-year-old, What is he really going to do? How far is he going to run when we handcuff him to a tire or chain him and handcuff him to a tire and rim? Well, people, here's the thing. As a security officer, as a police officer, you're not supposed to feel. Feel is for blind people. You're supposed to know. You're supposed to not take any chances so that that prisoner can escape or even hurt or take away himself. In this case, we know exactly what the results are. So they must say to themselves, maybe, I am assuming that is their frame of thought. Well, him a 70-year-old, him chain up and handcuffed to a tire and rim. How far can he run unless, of course, him have superpower? Doubt that he have them kind of strength, sorry. So them said to themselves, him can jump and run and get away. However, what they did not anticipate, what nobody could think about is the fact that, you know, sir, we're going to drive over one bridge known as Flat Bridge. Flat is a name, no sort of rim, no sort of edge, no sort of barrier. This man there in the truck by himself and people. Based on the video, remember some kind of blind, you know. So, based on the video, I don't know if a next police was there or a couple police was in the back, but I doubt it very, very much. So I'm going to speak about the lapse in the system and their security measure or lack thereof. You chain up a man in the back of the vehicle by himself, and I don't know if it was rain and the police he make him stay out there and wet up because him are the prisoner. Where police now went up with Chris new uniform that the commissioner of police gave us. I am just saying. So them decide so them will put the prisoner in the back of the vehicle, maybe by himself and maybe him and the next officer. However, that officer was not swift enough like the 70-year-old suspect, which is an next sad situation if that is the case, but I doubt it very much. So whether or not that suspect prisoner was in the back seat or in the back of the van, it would not really matter. Because if you put somebody or chain somebody on a tire and rim, and that tire and rim is not safely secured, meaning that bolt down, weld down, tie down, and that person have the strength to lift up the tire, fling the tire overboard, and fling himself overboard. It is obvious that his fling up the tire and his coordination of jumping out did not really match. Maybe it is an age problem, so therefore it was not well coordinated. I would not say that he got a 10 for the landing. As a matter of fact, he got a 9, meaning that him getting his 9 night, and meaning that him get a 6 for 6'6" because of his action. So I say this to say that this man fling over the tire and rim, and then fling over himself or the tire and rim, drag him. And obviously, he was going to drown. Now, I don't know if when he was analyzing the whole process, he must said to himself, well, the tire inflated, so therefore, it is going to be like some sort of flotation device. Kind of what they tell you when you're on the plane, and if the plane crash, you can use whatever for. Flotation device. Don't know, cannot analyze what was going through this man's mind. Whatever it is, it did not work out. It did not fare too well for him because pretty much him lose him life. So therefore, it was an exercise in futility. Well, fatality. However, when you look at the police, we have to ask a question. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. If you're not going to secure the prisoner, make sure say him or her is handcuffed to something that is maybe grilled down, bolt down, tied down. That person is always going to take the opportunity, especially when that person is charged for some very serious crime, as this man is. Because if him touch up Pitney, him probably knows, say, hold on a minute. We don't really care. There's no sort of age limit when it comes to petty. Any and everybody can get it, especially in a prison. This man probably knew that he was guilty as charged. And him know, say, wait, me are 70 right now. So therefore, if me even get 5 or 10 years, more than likely I am not going to make it under these severe conditions in our nice penal institution. Penal meaning you're going to get F-U-C-K in there. Now, people, All of this, with all of what is going on in Jamaica in a time like this, why is it that when you get the prisoner, it takes you forever and a day for all the prisoner? It takes the system forever and a day, and most of the time them fumble the ball. Why is it that you're giving these persons that should be locked up, confined to some sorts of institution, an opportunity to get to it, even though it did not work, and even though maybe it is in our best interest that he actually lost his life, it is going to save us some taxpayers' money. It is going to save us time. It is going to take away somebody that actually needs to be taken away. Because if you are 17 or 70, well, 17 is a minor. You get the point. If you touch up a little pitney, then whatever comes to you, that is exactly what you deserve. So therefore, there is no sort of sympathy. However, what we sympathize with is that Jamaica have a whole bunch of incompetent police that don't learn from the past, that don't learn from the mistakes of their peers, and them come and do the same thing. Do you know that if this was America, that police officer, those police officers, the JCF could be charged for negligence and incompetence, even though the man caused his own demise, because they should have secured that man, make sure that he did not harm or take away himself. So therefore, you're going to be deemed as negligent. Even though it was the man's decision, people, let me just say, Jamaica needs to do better. This is not rocket science. This is basic security measures. And if you cannot carry out the protocols of basic security, what are you doing being a police officer? How are you going to keep Jamaica safe and secure when you can't do the basic necessity? People, it makes absolutely no sorts of sense. And this is yet an perfect example. Point blank and period.
The reputed leader of the 100 Sunrise Crescent gang has been charged with multiple offenses by the police in relation to an armed robbery and kidnapping along Red Hills Road and Sunrise Crescent on Sunday, March 30. Charged is 32-year-old Michael Ward of Sunrise Crescent, Red Hills Road. Prince Moore has details.
Reports are that about 5:30 p.m. on March 30, two men were robbed, kidnapped, and placed in the trunk of a car. They managed to escape and contact the police. A multi-agency investigation was launched, and on Friday, August 8, one of the perpetrators, who is a minor, turned himself in to the police. He was later pointed out in an identification parade as one of the suspects. The investigation into the incident continued, and during a major operation, Ward was apprehended on Wednesday, October 15, at his home on Sunrise Crescent. Ward was subsequently pointed out during an identification parade. On Tuesday, November 11, Ward was interviewed and is now facing 8 serious charges, including being the leader of a criminal organization. The minor, who is currently before the court, has been slapped with 7 serious charges. Investigations are still underway to locate the other suspects involved in the incident, and the police are appealing to anyone who has information to contact the Constant Spring Police at 876-924-1425, Crime Stop at 311, the National Intelligence Bureau at 811, or the nearest police station.
So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.